Welcome. This is a demonstration of doing knee press for somebody who is currently in labor. My volunteer is Noor, who is graciously donating herself as the model today. So this is called the knee press, and I will describe to you how it's helpful once we get into it. So your person might be sitting on a chair, or they could be on a birth ball while they're laboring. And this is a tool to be used during contraction. So Noor, I'm going to have you come even closer to the edge of the seat and get yourself up on your sit bones, okay? And what we're going to do, underneath the knees, there's a little knob that's about right here. This is where the tendons from the quads come in. You're going to place the whole flat of your hand over that space on each side of the knee, and then as the contraction begins, you're going to push straight toward the hips and maintain a firm but easy pressure. How does that feel? Yeah. And so what we're doing is that we're creating a little bit of gap space in the hip joint directly, and then as the contraction eases, we're going to slowly release the pressure. Okay? And that is how you do a knee press. Please practice this before you are already in labor. Thank you. Okay, welcome everybody. Yeah, you're going to come around here. Okay, so this is a demonstration of a move that we lovingly call in the birth community, shake the apple tree. Noor and I are using a scarf here. If you don't have a scarf that is made out of material that's not stretchy, so this is silk, so it does not stretch, then use a sheet. So if you're in a hospital, just ask the nurse for an extra bed sheet to do this. And this is a really great method to help warm the muscles of the abdomen, open up any fascial adhesions that are in the abdomen. The only contraindication that I know of for this move is an anterior placenta. So if you have an anterior placenta, this move is not for you, okay? Everybody else, as long as you can get down on your hands and knees, you can do this, okay? So I'm gonna be the pregnant person, and Noor is gonna be my support person. So as the pregnant person, you're down on your hands and knees, and you can do this before, during labor, whatever works for you. The person who's supporting is going to be standing over the top of the hips, and we're going to take the scarf and put the bottom of the scarf under the bottom of the tummy and then up to the top of the tummy. All right? And then for the person doing the support, your pinky finger is toward the floor and your thumb is toward the ceiling and your wrists are straight. Thank you for demonstrating that, Noor. Go ahead and gently pull up on both sides. There you go. And then you're just gonna sift the tummy nice and easy. And you can go ahead and go faster if you would like, Noor. Okay, and it's up to you, like how quick, how slow, how much pressure you would like applied. You're going to communicate with your partner about what feels good for you and what feels supportive. And it's up to you how long you want to do this for. All right, thank you very much. And remember, practice this before you go into labor. Thank you. Okay, welcome back. So, hands and knees is my personal preferred way to try to encourage people to at least spend some time laboring. So let's go over ways to support somebody who is in labor on their hands and knees, okay? So if we're in early active labor and the person is having a lot of intensity in the low back, in the hips, you're gonna take your hands, you're gonna find the sticky outy bones on the sides of the hips. We're gonna use palms again, no pointy, nasty fingertips. And as the contraction begins, You're going to stick your elbows out to the side because you're using your arm and your pec strength. And you're gently going to compress. And you're going to check in with your partner how that feels for them. What we're doing is taking the pressure off the hip. We're allowing the inlet of the pelvis to open just a little bit, just to give that baby a little bit more chance to come in. And then as the contraction eases, then you are slowly going to release that compression, okay? If you need to, if you're a very tall human, then grab a stool or get down on your knees, okay? Now, we're later in labor. Baby is in the pelvis, woohoo, okay? Still having some intensity. So now we're gonna go to the top of the pelvis. So you do find the top by just doing a little check, okay? And so you can see that my hands are in a very different place here. The first one, for early active labor, hands are down here. For later active labor, you know the baby is in the pelvis and on their way down, okay? Contraction begins. We're gonna compress. Okay, how does that feel, Nupur?
That feels good.
Yeah, even when you're not pregnant, these moves actually feel really nice. Okay, and you hold that for the entire duration of the contraction. And so contractions can last anywhere from 1.5 minutes to 2.5 minutes. So again, remember to practice this before you go into labor. Okay, and then as the contraction stops, and you're slowly going to release the compression. All right, last but definitely not least is sacral compression. Okay, a lot of the time, if you just place your hand over the sacrum, which is a triangular bone in the middle of the pelvis, you're going to just place a flat palm, let the palm conform to the shape of the pelvis. Don't push down. Please don't push down, okay? As the contraction starts, 9 times out of 10, the person who's laboring is going to push back in your hand, and you just meet that pressure. You check in with them and ask, how does that feel? And if they like it, they're going to be like, yes. And if they don't like it, they're going to ask you to shift your hold a little bit. So you might need to move up. Okay, now the nice thing about the sacral counter pressure is it's really easy to switch hands. You're only using one hand. And again, we're going to maintain this through the entire contraction. When the contraction is done, then we slowly release the pressure. Okay, all right. Those are a few things that you can do to help support somebody who is laboring a baby down on their hands and knees. Remember, practice before you go into labor.